What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to do a quick video showing you guys another Linux application called Tmux. So, someone gave me this idea to do this video a little while back after I did the screen video. Well, Tmux is basically another terminal multiplexer. It enables you to run, multiple terminals within the same window. And you can run separate applications or separate programs within each one of those screen windows that you have open, and you can control them all from one single terminal. One thing about Tmux is it's basically an improved version of screen, so that's why I wanted to do this video, kind of follow up on the screen video that I did. So I'll actually link that video to this video. You should see it pop up in a second. But Tmux is basically a rewrite of that actual screen application, and I thought it would be cool to just run through how to actually use it, how to install it first, and then how to actually use it. So let's go down and get to it. I'm gonna go down and walk through how to install it, as well as some basic usage of the Tmux command. So let's get started. So now today I'll be using Pop! OS, which is a Ubuntu based distribution that is very user friendly. I just wanted to use this one because I like Ubuntu, and I also like Pop! OS because it's it's the closest thing to Ubuntu. This one has the GNOME desktop, which I don't really care for, but I just wanted to show it on this one because this is the version that most people install it. They won't really mess with KDE or XFCE, which is the desktop, my desktop of choice. I love XFCE. But anyway, this is the GNOME desktop, so I'm gonna just go down and show you guys how to actually install Tmux and actually run a couple examples of the command. So let's open up the terminal. And one thing about the Tmux application, you want to understand that you have to learn the command line in order to actually master one of these utilities like this, because the command is written to be ran in the terminal. It's no GUI, it's no anything. So that's why I'm going to show you how to install it in the terminal, as well as obviously to use it in the terminal. So first thing, let me go down and show you how to install it. And I already have it installed on this system. It's in pretty much all the Linux repositories. You should be able to find it, especially if it's a Ubuntu system or Orch. It should be in the Orch repository as well. So if we type sudo apt install and then Tmux and press enter, and if you're using Orch, is basically sudo pacman and -S and then Tmux, and you should be able to install it. And as you can see, I already have it installed. It's saying Tmux is already at the newest version, but obviously it'll show something different. It'll go through and install it'll add the dependencies and install the actual application at that point. Okay, now that we have it installed, let me go down and show you guys the man page. I typically like to show the man page so people can get an understanding, or get that drilled in their head to always go to the man page of an application so you can understand how it works, and you can look at the notes. Pretty much every utility, well, most utilities in the Linux operating system have a man page, and basically that stands for manual. So let me go down and type that in right fast. So man Tmux and press enter. And like I said, this is the man page or the manual. So the name of it is Tmux. It's a terminal multiplexer. Here's the synopsis, here's the description, and let me just read the first paragraph of it. But Tmux is a terminal multiplexer. It enables a number of terminals to be created, assessed, and controlled from a single screen. Tmux may be detached from a screen and continue running in the background, just like screen, the application screen, then later reattached. So it's pretty much the same thing. It just has a couple cool features that are not included in screen. So if we look at the next paragraph, it says when Tmux is started, it creates a new session with a single window and displays it on the screen. A status line at the bottom of the screen shows information on the current session and is used to enter interactive commands. So that's one cool difference, you know, about Tmux. It has like more information at the bottom of the actual screen that you have open or session. Now let me go down and quit the man page. I'm not gonna ramble too much and read too much further. I'll go down and show you guys how to actually use it right now. So I'm gonna press Q, quit, and then let's hit Control L. That'll clear the terminal for us, and let's just run Tmux the normal way, which is Tmux with no options or anything. Press enter, and this is an example of a Tmux session, and it go down and it automatically opens up you know, another terminal. It doesn't look much different from the terminal that we had open previously, but the difference is the bottom bar, and I want to explain each part of this bar for you guys. So the first thing, let's start with the right hand side because it's the simplest to understand. But the first portion is the host name of the system, and then the second portion is basically time and date. And if we look back over here on the right, and just to specify, this will update. You'll see it update with the time. As you can see, it just changed with my clock, so that'll update as you're going through. So that's a cool little feature or whatever. It'll constantly update the time as you're going through. But if we go back over here to the left, the first little portion right here within the brackets, so this 0 right here, I just want to let you know what that is. The 0 is basically the session name, and this is where it'll put, like, you can create a custom name, but by default Tmux, what it does is it uses a numbering system to name the session for you, since we didn't specify it within the command, because I'll get to that command later on. But you can actually name a session and it'll show the name here, but by default, like I stated, it uses a numbering system. So since this is the first session, it used the number 0, and it'll go up from there. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and now the next little section, the first 0 before the colon, that 0 stands for the number of windows that you have open, and this is pretty much the first window that is created within that session. It starts off at the number 0 as well. And after the colon, this shows you the actual process running within this session, which is bash. So it opened up bash basically. So that lets you know what it is. And then just so you understand this asterisk at the end of it as well, that's something that means something different as well. That means that this is the active window that you're looking at the time. Because like I stated earlier, you can have multiple windows open within one screen session, and you can have them all shown on the one screen. Well, that asterisk will show up on the one that's active at the moment that you're actually able to type into or interacting with. And just so you know, each time you open up a new window, it'll actually show up in this format. It'll show up in the next one, will have a 1 in front of it, and then whatever process or application that your utility that you're running within that actual window will pop up there, and the asterisk will indicate the window that you're active at the moment. So I just wanted to add that in there so you guys would understand what's actually happening on that board, because like I stated, this is not included in the screen application, and you kind of have to go off of memory with screen. And what I mean by memory is memory, you know, what each one of those windows are being used for. There is no indicator of what's actually running in those different screen sessions. Now that I explained that, let me go down and show you guys how to actually interact with Tmux. Now there is a command key, so to speak, and that command key is Control B. So you have to press Control B, and then there's a list of options you can click, or a list of keys that you click after that, that'll do different things within Tmux, similar to screen. The command key is Control A in screen. Well, for Tmux, like I said, it's Control B. And then, so let me show you the example of how to actually use that. So in order to close this Tmux session, we have to type Control B, and then that'll indicate we're pushing something to Tmux, and then we have to press X to close it. And what's gonna pop up is gonna ask you what pane you want to close or kill that pane. Or a window. That's basically what it is. It's the window. Since we only have one window open, it's gonna close the whole session. But if we have multiple windows open within this session, then it will simply close that pane. But since this is the only session the only window that we have open, we can just type Y and that'll kill the whole session. As you can see, it says exited right here. This is a status. I know it doesn't make sense at the moment, but exited actually means that that session has been closed, and that's only because we had that window open and we typed in, you know, control B and then X. That killed that one window as well as the session, since it was the only window within the session. And I hope I'm not confusing you guys, but let's go on and move on. The next thing I wanted to show you guys was actually how to store a named Tmux session. And it's pretty simple how you do it. You basically type Tmux, and then it's an option that you have to run. You actually have to type new and then -s, and then let's go on and create us a session. I'm gonna name it KIT1 and press enter, and that'll open up that session. And as you can see, it popped up and created the name for it. So as you can see down here, that's the name, KIT1. Now let's go on and as you can see, it kind of updated. At first it showed Tmux, but it updated to bash. I don't know if you guys seen that when it happened, but it updated to bash. But Tmux, for some reason, it was kind of stuck, you know, but it'll update. It updates like every couple seconds or so. But let's go on and run something within here. And one thing I like to look at is the authentication log. I always like to look at that and show people that, so they can see, you know, what's going on the system. So tail -f, and then let's go var log authentication log and press enter, and that'll run the tail command against the authentication log. Now it's not going to update because I don't have, you know, anything really. I don't have SSH set up or anything to connect to this virtual machine, so it doesn't matter. But as you can see, one thing I want to show you guys, that it updated to the actual command that's running within the window. Now, one reason I want to run that is so I can have, you know, that one screen open, and then I want to open up another window within this screen session, so I can show you what it actually looks like. So the command to do it, you have to do Control B, like I stated, and then the letter C, and that'll actually create another window within that same session. And as you can see, we have that tails session that we had open, and then now this is the new bash window that we have open. And I apologize, not session but window. And let's go on and run something here as well. So let's just open up htop, which is installed. Well, it's not installed, so let's just run top. I know top is installed because it's like a default application. So cool. And as you can see, I just wanted to show you that asterisk, you know, jumped over to here, which is the active window. Now let me go down and create another window, because I want to show you guys something, how to actually navigate between the multiple windows. And if I go down and create another one, it will make it easier for me. So Control B and then C, that'll open up another window. And let's do one more thing. Let's just run IPA. There we go. And I forgot, that won't keep it won't change, you know, it won't be like an active utility running. So let's just do dmessage. So dmessage and then -w, I think, and press enter, Yeah, and that should keep it open. As you can see, D message is actually running. You see the asterisk has moved to this window. That's the active window. Now I want to show you guys how to actually navigate, and there's a few keys you can actually press. You obviously have to press Control B first. So let's type Control B, and then let's type N for next. And as you can see, it will go to the first one. So that's next. You know what I'm saying? It wraps around to the back to the beginning. So that lets you know that you move forward or next in line. And so the next navigation I want to show you, so if you type Control B, you can type P and that'll take you back to the previous. So, and then we can press Control B and then P again, that'll take us to the top one. So that's some basic navigation right there. And then another thing you can actually do is by using these numbers. That's why these numbers are so important. So if you type Control B, you can specify a window number, basically from 0 to 9. So let's say we want to go to number 2, and let's say we have like 4 or 5 of these things open, but let's say we want to jump to number 2. So let's just type Control B and then type the letter 2, the number 2, and that'll go to that window. And just show you guys again, so if we type Control B and then 0, that'll take us to the first one. So that's just some basic navigation of how to actually get through the windows that you have open on the system. And since I have all these windows open, let me go down and show you another one right fast. So if we type Control B and then the letter W, this will actually list out the windows that we have within the system, and then you could just scroll up and down or go through them, however. And if you press the enter key, that'll actually open up that window for you. So that's a cool way of actually, if you had like 9 windows open within this session, then you could type Control B and then W. That'll open up all the windows that you have opened on the actual session, and then you can go through and kind of get and it basically gives you some information based on what you're actually running in it, which is a cool thing, or a small snippet of what's actually running there. So you can go through each one of them and look at them, look at what's there at the moment. And if we press enter, like I said, it'll open that one back up. So, and since we have all these windows open and we have an active session, let me go down and show you guys how to detach the session. And that'll allow all this stuff to keep running in the background. So all these windows will stay open. So if we type Control B and then D, that will actually detach the session. So that's why I wanted to, kind of point out the exited. That lets you know that the session is being closed. And then detach means that you detach from that actual session, KIT1, which is pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? And let me go down and show you guys how to actually connect back to that session. You have to know the session name. So all you basically have to do is type Tmux. Since we know it, it's right there, but Tmux attached, and I'm spelling attached wrong, dash session dash T, and then KIT1, which is that session that we had open. So press enter, that opens up that session back up. And then the next thing I wanted to show you guys, so let me go down and detach from this session and leave it running. So Control B and then D, Control B and then D, and that'll detach that session. Now let's go down and create another one. I'm gonna just up arrow on it and create another session. So I just want to show you that it can create multiple sessions. So let's type D message again and then dash W and press enter, and let's let that kind of run in the background. And one thing you can actually do is navigate between different sessions. So let me show you guys this right fast. So we type Control B and then the S, that'll show you each one of the sessions. You'll see that KIT2 is actually attached, it's actually open, but we can actually go into the other one and see a snippet of what's going on in that session, even though it's not attached. So I thought that was pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? That's something. And you can actually click or press enter here, and that'll open up that session back. So if we go Control B again and then press S, you'll see that you're attached to that KIT1 session. So you can kind of jump in between sessions, even from another session. You know what I'm saying? You can attach to one and then list out the sessions that you have open, and then go to each one of them and see what's going on in either one of them and attach them, from there. And just to show you a little bit more right here, I'm pretty sure you guys can see that, but I have 3 windows open within the KIT session, or KIT1 session, and then I only have 1 window open in the KI2 session, or KIT2 session. So, and like I said, you see that little snippet of what's going on in each one of those sessions. And if we press enter, let's switch back to that one. So that's another cool feature that's within Tmux. Oh, and another thing I forgot to show you guys right fast. Let's open up the session window again. So Control B and then S, that'll open up the sessions. Well, if we go to the one with the 3 windows open, as long as it has more than 1 window, you can press the right arrow, and then when you within that session, you can actually select a window that you want to open up directly as soon as you go into that session. So if we press enter, that'll actually go right to that window that I had running top. So that's another cool thing about looking at the sessions and managing sessions, from just attaching back to a session that you already had created. Now that I'm back on this session, I wanted to show you guys something else, and that's how you actually work with window panes. Now if we do Control B and then the shift, you got to do the double quotes, so you have to do it twice. So shift double quotes, actually 1 quote, I'm sorry, and I made a mistake. It's 1 quote. That'll actually split the screen for you into what they call double panes, and it'll only affect the actual window that you have open, but that simply splits the screen for that actual one window. Now it won't affect any of the other ones. So if we can still go to those other windows, but this actually splits the pane, the window pane, so you can actually run something else. So let's just run top again or whatever, and we can have top running twice. But you get the picture. You can open up another application below and run that one as well within that one window. And just to show you that it doesn't affect any of the other windows, let me type Control B and then let's press 0, and that'll take us back. And I apologize, I was clicked on something else, but Control B, and then let's go to the first screen or a first window, and you'll see that it didn't affect it. So let's go back to that one screen right fast, or window. I keep saying screen, but window. So Control B, and then let's go back to 1, and you'll see that it's split. The window is split in the different panes. So it's a pretty cool feature of this actual application. And also, just to kind of show you that they are both independent, I'm gonna press Control C, and then let's just run something different like the ls command. So ls-la, press enter, and as you can see, there are 2 separate screens or 2 separate panes. So I just wanted to let you guys know that it is different. It's basically 2 terminal sessions that are open within this one window. And just to show you that you can split it horizontally as well, I just want to show you guys another way of actually doing it. So if we type Control B, and then it's the % that you have to type in order to split it horizontally. So if we type Shift 5, that should split it. Nah, let's go on and do it again. 1 second. Control B, and sorry about that. Control B, and then the % and it'll open up another terminal within this one window. So let's run a uname. So uname -a, press enter, and that shows you that that's another terminal. Oh, and one thing I forgot to show you guys was if you press Control B, that'll take, and the up arrows, up, down, and left, right arrows, that'll take you within the different panes, or switch you between each of the different panes. So if we type Control B and let's go up arrow. That'll take us to the top, and you'll see that it's, you know, it's specified by the bar. So by the bar just going right here, that lets you know that the top pane is actually selected. And if we do Control B and press down, and then Control B and press left arrow, that'll take us over here to the left pane that we have open within that window. Now, just so you know, within Tmux, each one of these panes actually has a number associated with them, and the way to bring that up is actually by hitting Control B and then Q. That'll show you the number on each pane, and it'll only show up briefly, and right now it'll show you which one is selected at the moment. So you want to, you know, when you want to exit one out or close one of these actual panes, you want to make sure you have the right one selected. And like let me show you again right fast, because it kind of pops up quick. But if we hit Control B and then Q, they'll let you know that the one window is actually the one that's selected right now, which we can actually see it by the border that's around it. You can actually type Control B and then X. That'll actually close that one pane by typing Y, and that'll actually close it. And another cool thing about it, you could just simply type exit, and that'll close that one pane out as well. So that's another way to kind of get out of each one of them. You just want to make sure you're in the right window before you exit. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to close out something that's running a command or whatever. And you can do the exact same thing in screen, the application screen. I think I showed that you can, you know, open up different panes and everything and kind of navigate between them all. But one weird thing about screen is, and one thing that I've noticed when using it, but when you detach an actual screen session and go back to it, the different panes will be gone. So that kind of is a bummer right there. If you have, you know, a window open with like multiple panes within it, all but one of those panes will still be open. I mean, will close. All except one of those panes will be closed. So that's one difference between Tmux and actual the screen command. Okay, and that's all I wanted to show you guys in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. Tmux is a very powerful tool, just like Screen. I've been using Screen for years. And I'm kind of a creature of habit, so I still use Screen, but every now and then I break out and use Tmux because it's a pretty cool application. So I think you guys will like it if you've never used Screen before, because like I said, I'm a creature of habit, and things that I started with, I kind of stick with them, you know, especially if it works. There's no need to actually change something that's not broken, you know what I'm saying? So that's the way I look at it. But Tmux is a pretty cool application. You know, it has some updated features, you know, that may help you when working in the terminal. So check it out for yourself. You know, you can either spin up a VM or run these commands. If you have the Linux installed on your main system, just install Tmux. It's pretty simple to install, like I showed in the beginning. It's in all the repositories, so check it out for yourself. If you don't like it, you know, you can always hit sudo apt remove Tmux, you know what I'm saying? That's the same with all the applications, you know what I'm saying? And it's best to try things out to find out if they'll actually work for what you need versus not knowing. And that's one cool thing about Linux. There's always things out there to actually try out that are new, or it could be something newly developed, you know what I'm saying, that replaces another application. It's always somebody building something cool, you know, that you could try out on Linux. So that's one thing that I really enjoy about Linux and free and open source software. So thanks for checking out the video. I hope you guys like it. Please share if you can, and of course, keep it techie.